Good evening, everyone. My name is Zelda Fry, and I'm president of Lake Charles Alumni Chapter here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And we're here today to get some legislative updates about what's going on in our city. Judge Wilfred Carter.
The state, yes.
I'm sorry, the state. I'm sorry, I apologize, the state. So Judge Wilfred Carter is here to do that presentation on behalf of our chapter, which we are hosting. So we once again want to thank everybody for coming. And I'll turn it over to my beautiful chair, Ms. Dr. Giselle Hawkins, and her cohort in crime, Chantel Willis. Thank you all for coming.
Carter Willis. So, thank you again. We are streaming this event live. We're asking everyone to go home, share it so that you can get more information. What questions you have, please enunciate clearly so that we can have the stream audience hear the question. If there's questions that come up on the live, we will try to get to those as well. Again, we welcome you guys and thank you for your participation. And this is Chantel Carter Willis, and she's going to introduce Judge Carter.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad that everyone came. I'm so excited to have everyone come to hear what's going on in Baton Rouge. It's important that we understand what our representatives are doing. So, State Representative Wilfred Carter, my dad, member of Kappa Alpha Psi, is going to just discuss some of the things that's happening, what can affect us, what will affect us, and what you should know, what our representatives are doing. So if you have questions, like we said, please make sure you enunciate so that everyone can understand and hear those questions. But he also has quite a few things that he wants to make sure that the public is aware of.
But we also wanted to let you know that we offered invitation to everyone, and no one else accepted but Representative Carter.
Okay.
We did. All right.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Deltas, Lake Charles Alumni Chapter, I really appreciate y'all doing this. The people really need this bad. And so we're going to talk about some things that happened in this session. And it's lots going on. We live in some very unusual times. There's an opportunity for great advancement during these times, but also opportunity for great loss and regression during these times. First thing I want to talk about is probably one of the most important things going on in this session that most people are not hearing about. The governor has requested a constitutional convention to be in panel on the 20th of May to last through June 2nd. That's a little less than about 2 weeks. Now understand, the last time we did a constitutional convention was in 1974. I was in law school there, remember it well, then under Evan Edwards. So about every 50 years or so, we end up doing a constitutional convention. Our Constitution is 79,000 words thick, one of the top three thickest constitution in the nation. As you can imagine, the United States Constitution is 4,200 words, and it has lasted almost 250 years now. But we got stuff in the Constitution we need to take out that should be in statute. It should not be in the Constitution. So my problem with the governor's call is twofold. Number one, it calls for the delegates of the Constitution. It's House Bill 800, if you want to follow it. House Bill 800 by De Villiers. De Villiers is a representative from Eunice, Louisiana. He is also the Speaker of the House, so he's in charge of the House of Representatives. So his bill, on behalf of the governor, says that all the House of Representative members presently elected in their 105 districts, and all 39 of the senators presently elected will serve as delegates to this constitutional convention. And then the governor will appoint 27 more people of wherever he wants, his choosing. He's going to appoint 27 people. These people will meet in 3 different settings: the House chambers, the Senate chambers, and the 27 delegates the governor appoints. They have another location. I don't quite know where yet. But all 3 have to approve the articles of the Constitution. Okay? So my problem with that is this. I don't think elected officials ought to be delegates to the Constitution. Elected officials are too close to a special interest group, to lobbyists, to raise money for their campaign or their next campaign. I'm a House member. I would be a delegate, but I would not like that to happen. I think that's a big mistake. That'll put the people with the most money in control of our Constitution. We do this once every 50, 60, 70 years. We did it last in 74. We don't need to take a chance with our Constitution with politicians being delegates. Delegates ought to come from the community. And what we did last time in 74, each House seat, 105 House seats, each one of them elected a delegate to the Constitutional Convention from the community, from that district. My House District 34, we elect a delegate. Tarver House District elect one, and every representative House District elect one. So we have 105 members to the delegates to the Constitutional Convention. Then the governor will appoint 27. You know, he normally, but the guidelines from the governor appointment in 74 is that you got to appoint people from different, at least that's 9 different organizations like the Chamber of Commerce and ACP, different organizations in the state will have to have a delegate. So that's where it should be. And why this governor is doing this, I don't know. I got my suspicion, but keep in mind that the Constitutional Convention, we have 7 important articles we got to deal with in the Constitution. There's 2 articles that I'm afraid that he's going to attack. And keep in mind, the last convention took over 2 years to get together. The delegates took almost 2 years before they got it to the people. He's trying to get this convention, constitution to the people by the president's election. That's why he's doing it so fast, by the next president's election in November. So we got 2 articles that I think is going to be attacked. 2 very important articles out in the Constitution. The Article 5 deals with the judiciary. When I took office in '84, we had 6 black judges in the whole state of Louisiana, out of 350 black judges in the district court appeal level. We had 6, okay? And when I left in '92 and I ran for one of the seats, we now have 34% of all judges in the state are African American or black. Now that's important because it gives diversity. It gives diversity to our court, and it helps everybody. It helps all our citizens, black, white, Oriental, Asian. It helps everybody to give diversity, and so I think they're going to attack that because some interest groups or wants to do something about it. They think our judges are too liberal, and so they may change the way we elect judges in Article 5. I'm very concerned about that. Number 2, Article 7. Article 7 deals with the tax base. Okay, so right now we enjoy homestead exemption, okay, and that helps you lower your tax. We also have 10% of the assessed value of the property, the actual value of the property, market value of the property. The tax assessor try to get a market value on your property and should take 10% of that, and that's what your tax base is based on, okay? In our industry, like city service or PPG or one of those plants across the street, we have in the Constitution, Article 7, Section 18, provides that we cannot tax them over 15%. I don't care what, we can't tax them over 15%. You know, city service probably a $2 billion company. PPG probably a $1.5 billion or something like that. So these companies are huge companies. We can't tax them on their whole value. We only can tax them on 15%. Why is that a problem? That's a problem because we have found out in recent years, in the past 20 years, that we are called Cancer Alley in Louisiana. We have the highest rates of all kinds of cancer. Now, we need the plants. I'm not speaking against the plants. They provide good jobs and they provide a service to our country, but we're making a sacrifice by living in Louisiana because it's considered Cancer Alley. So we ought to be able to tax these plants for what they're putting in the air, okay? So we unfortunately, we can't tax them over 15%, but if our health care have gone up, you know, Louisiana paid one of the highest health care premiums in the country, and that's because we got so many incidents of cancer. So we need to be able to tax these companies for putting out this carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide and what have you, by making them pay a large proportion of the tax. So I'm afraid that the lobbyists and the big business people gonna change Article 7 to either reduce that, okay, and limit our ability to tax them. And if they don't pay the taxes, who pays it? You pay it. Because you got to get the tax to run the parish and the city somewhere, and they're going to get it from the property owner. And I'm afraid they may attack the homestead exemption, that kind of stuff. So I say, let's not do the Constitutional Convention. Let's call your representative, your senator. Don't do the Constitutional Convention. Let's do it the regular way. Take our time with it. It's too important. And let the people be delegates, not the politicians, okay? So that's so much for House Bill 800, okay? Now, we did some major changes in our crime special session. We had if you recall, we had a special session on reapportionment, and we had a special session on crime. The major thing in crime is this. Our budget for a correction department is about over $800 million a year. we have 32,000 incarcerated people under the state in Louisiana, around a little over 32,000. 62% of those people are African Americans. Okay, and that's we represent 33.6% of the population, but we incarcerated 62%. Now, why is that? You know, and we have not. What we're doing is in '97, Jenna started sending our prisoners to not in our state facilities, but in parish jails. So out of the 32,000 some odd people, about 60% of them are in parish jail, and that's very significant. See, the federal government keep a watch on the state institution. You got to have Medicaid protection, health care. You got to have so many people so many beds per institution. You just can't stack people on top of each other. So the federal government been watching them and had a court order on them about doing some things, improving in the correction system. So what Bobby Jenner started to do when the feds came down hard on Louisiana, he started sending our people to parish jail. So all your parish jail, Caxton Parish Correction Center, Allen Parish Correction Center, they house our people. Now, why they do that? Because it costs $28 a day for a parish jail inmate, and it costs $85 a day for a state institution. Okay, but in state institution, you can get to go to college, you get help, medical care, you get a whole lot of things that you don't get in the parish jail. All you do in the parish jail, feed them enough to survive and keep them incarcerated, locked up. Okay, so when they get out, they got no training, no skills. So we have spent. We think our budget will go up. The Legislative Black Caucus, Democratic Caucus, we have done a study, and we think our budget gonna go up in the next 3 years from $800 million to close to $1.5 billion in Department of Correction. Okay, because we did away with parole during the special session. Right now, if you get a nonviolent crime, you serve roughly about 26% of your time. So if you get 5 years, you're gonna serve 26 months. Okay, right now, if you after that 26 months, after you serve roughly 26%, you would be paroled. You'll be supervised parole, release, okay? And then while you're incarcerated for some violent crimes, you cannot get, you may not get parole release. You got to require you to do a certain percentage of your time, but you can at least get good time. So if you get 20 years, so you get about for every 7 days, you get 13 days good time. So a little more than if you serve about 2/3. So you serve 20 years, you're gonna do about. So you release about 15. So what I'm saying is that is a process by which people know they get the judge sentences you to 20 years. You're not going to do the whole 20. You're going to get good time. You're going to be eligible for parole unless it's a violent crime. Now, sex crimes, armed robbery, murder, that's mandatory sentence in those cases. Armed robbery is like 5 to 99, and murder is course life. Yeah.
You gave the budget, and I didn't get all of that. You said it's going to go up, and you think it's going to go up.
We think it's gonna almost double in size because you're not releasing people. You don't have parole. You don't have good time. You got to serve 85% of your time. So you got 32,000 people incarcerated in the state, and they got to serve 85% of their sentence. So if they get 5 years, they got to save 4 years and some more months. So that's going to be more people in the system before they get released. And the federal government is on us very hard about packing people up in these state institutions. So we will increase our budget. We have 9 state institutions, and 7 of them are owned by the state, 2 owned by private entity. What we see beginning to happen, what I'm concerned about with this governor and with this the leadership up in the legislature, this conservative leadership, they're going from incarcerating people in the department to other prisons owned by private entities. Okay, so in other words, the judge don't have to sentence you to the Department of Correction institution or to the parish jail. He can sentence you to an institution that is privately owned to do your time. And you work there, you go work, and you go pay so much for your room and board. And really, the owner of the institution making a bundle of money, like the Mallet facility they got here in Jeff Davis Parish. So we see more and more of that popping up. So these people are going to be making money. Business is going to be making money. We used to own all our hospitals, all our charity hospitals, all our prisons. Bobby Jenner sold everything, okay? And so it's private enterprise now. It's about keeping people housed to make so much a day. It's not rehabilitating people. Now, we did a study. I looked at a study up in Europe, and this study showed how they handle their prisons. and how they don't have such a recidivism rate, the reincarceration rate. Okay, so basically what it is, you get arrested, you go to trial, you get convicted, and they tell you, well, why you got turned to crime? How you got here? Did you have some problem as a child? You have some childhood problems, some abuse or something? Did you have a drug problem? Do you have a lack of training skills? And that's why you do what you do in order to make ends meet. So what they identify your problem is, and they start to work on that from the minute you incarcerated until you get out. And they don't have as much repeat offenders as we have. In Louisiana, our strategy is to jail everybody, and that'll reduce our crime. That has not worked. Keep in mind, Mississippi is the poorest state in the union. Based on per capita household income for 4 people near the poverty line. Okay, so the Mississippi has more people, families at the poverty level or below the poverty level than any other state in the union, and they have the highest crime rate for violent crime in the union. West Virginia is second poorest state in the union. West Virginia is not in the top 8 though in crime. Louisiana is the 3rd poorest state in the union. Our household, 4-person household, is at or below the number of them at or below the poverty level is what it's based on. Okay, it's actually figured. They got a lot of rich people in Louisiana, but they got a lot of poor people too. Okay, so we are not doing a very good job. We got some of the toughest crimes in the books in the country, but we got the highest 3 cities in the top 10 in the nation: Shreveport, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge. So whatever we're doing is not working. We need to try something else. Now, we did have a program called Reentry Program, and we need to make that program throughout the system. The reentry program serves about less than 1% of the inmates, and what you do, you go to 2 years in Angola in a special dorm, and they find out what your problem is, like I told you to do in Europe, and they if you got no training skills, teach you how to be a carpenter, a truck driver, electrician, or something where you can make a living when you get out. And if you got a drug problem, treat your drug problem. But that's only less than 1% of our inmates. We need to do that for at least as many as we can. It costs money, but you're gonna have less people committing crime. So that's the crime special session. We have made things tougher, harder to get out. And I'm gonna tell you, I was a judge 21 years. I find if you don't throw people away, there's a possibility a person can restore themselves and become an asset to society. So if you don't throw them away. But if you throw them away with no training and put them in jail as long as you can, when they're going to get out at some point, and you just got a monster on your hands. So even I'm all for. I was very tough on violent crime, murder, rape. You know, it's a mandatory life sentence in Louisiana for rape and murder. Okay, armed robbery. But other crime, non-violent crime. You got to understand, like 49% of the people in our institution are drug problems. 22% are mental health cases. They really should be in a mental institution, but we don't have mental institutions to treat them, so they end up going to jail. You know, so we are not dealing with the issue in an intelligent way. We're doing it as a way to maintain batches of slavery, I think. In other words, you go to some of these institutions, you work for nothing all day, and you got to give it to the owner of the institution for your housing. So you're not saving much money. They sell you on thinking you can be in jail, do your time, and save some money for your family. When you get out, you got nothing, okay? So it's like free slavery, okay? It's like going back to slavery. So I'm concerned about that, but that's what I think the crime bill was a big mistake. And we're going to come back probably in the next 4 years and have to do something about it. Because you see, next year we have a sales tax come up, a 1-cent sales tax. That's between $400 and $500 million. We had, during the Biden administration, they won't talk about old Biden, they want to, but the state of Louisiana got a lot of money during the Biden administration. And nobody voted for it but one. Out of our 6 legislators, our 2 senators and 6 congressmen, only one person voted for it, and that's Troy Carter in New Orleans, okay? And so, but we got a lot of infrastructure money, we got money for COVID, we got money for the hurricane. Now, I'm trying to find out what happened to all the restore money. People got restore projects they're not doing, and I got a House resolution to find out what happened to the restore money. When Landry got in, he cut out the restore money, but they got the money from the feds. But a lot of people had contracts approved to restore their house, but they never got the restore money. We don't know. We got to get an accounting on that. Okay, so So let's talk about some other things during this session that we passed that's going to make everything different. Okay, the Delta like to have a voters registration drive. The AKA got one, NAACP got one. Everybody got a voters registration drive. And they used to be get together, go to the registrar of voters office, pick up you some applications for registration, and you go down and you get you a location, you register people to vote. Well, they passed a bill this session that would require you to register with the Secretary of State. If you don't register with the Secretary of State first, then you can be subject to civil fines or criminal penalty. Can be a felony. Okay, who they gonna arrest in the Deltas that didn't register? I don't know, but the law says if you register, you got to notify. Now the way to get around that is to do it on a computer. Because we put an amendment, we were able to get an amendment on, that doesn't apply. You don't have to register. You do it by your iPad, your computer. You know, I used to go places and people ask me for registration. I have them in my pocket. I give people out to fill out cards and stuff. But you can't do that no more. But you can do it on your computer. You bring your iPad, register them right then. You're not subject to that law. Well, yeah. Well, the bill don't really require arrest. But it used to be you pick up, say, 40 applications, you don't bring them back, you may register 20 people, but now they want you to try to let them know, what happened to the other 20, okay? It ain't a crime, but they're watching you. So it's designed to watch the people. They want to know who registers people to vote. They want to prevent these people from registering people to vote, discourage them. So we're trying to discourage people from voting with this law. And another law we passed, now some of y'all got your grandma and your grandpa, your good friend, your neighbor next door, husband and wife may be kind of too elderly to get out and go register. You go do the absentee ballot for them. You go to their house and do the absentee ballot. I know some people may do 40, 30 people absentee ballot. And so you witness their ballot. The absentee ballot has got to be witnessed. They passed a law saying unless you're a relative, an immediate relative, that's the mama, the daddy, the sister, the brother, that's all. So the mom, the dad, the sister, and brother, not even the aunt and uncle. I don't think you can register grandma and grandpa under this bill because you can only witness one absentee ballot per voting rotation. Okay, so one absentee ballot. You cannot witness more than one absentee ballot. Another thing they passed. You used to be able to go pick up people's ballots. You may have get a lot of people together in the nursing home or other place and have them sign their ballots and go take those ballots, bring them to the post office. You can only deposit one ballot in a post office. One ballot, one person, one ballot. You cannot take 50 ballots and stick them in the post office box. If they see you, that's a crime. It can be up to a felony. Okay, now. And I think that's horrible. Say you got your neighbor next door that can't get out. So you go, him and his wife. So you go and you sign the absentee ballot. You only can witness one of them. The other one got to witness, a family member got to witness the other one. But you can't even go put it, and I asked that question on the House floor, how ridiculous this law is. And you go get the ballot for them, and you go put them in their mailbox on their front porch. You can only put one in that mailbox. You cannot put the ballot in the mail system, and that's part of the mail system. And you got to tell one of them old people, you all got to get up and put that in your mailbox yourself. Now, how they gonna know that you do that? They're not gonna know, but that's to intimidate you, to make you feel uncomfortable about registering people to vote. So what has happened? Our Republican friends have gone full right on us. Okay, don't get me wrong. I believe that everybody ought to have a fair shot, and I don't care what party you are. You got to keep in mind, 33% of this state are Republican. 34 to 35% are Democrat. 33% are no party and independent. So if you have a convention, for example, and the House members going to elect the convention, going to be convention members, you have 72 Republicans serving in the House and 32 Democrats, one independent. Okay, in the Senate you got about the same thing, about 26 Republicans, so you got 72 supermajority in both houses. So the Republicans are going to decide our Constitution, okay, not the independents. So I propose that we have every 105 House seats, select somebody for the convention, and then we have another time where only independents and no party can qualify. Okay, say like at least 35 seats where there got to be no party independent. So everybody will have an investment in this city and have input in our Constitution. So right now, we also had to pass a bill that requires, we passed a bill during a special reapportionment session, and I'm gonna let you ask a question. Okay, so we passed a bill that says that if we have a congressional suit pending, we have a Supreme Court suit pending, we have a state legislative suit pending. The legislature has been found by a federal judge to be in violation of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. It's an illegal legislature. They are not complying with the law. So is this illegal legislature going to do our Constitution, our new Constitution for us? It's an illegal legislature. The federal court put on an order, probably expecting the next 3 weeks to a month, saying that you got to have another election of House members and senators because you're illegal right now. So understand when I say illegal. The United States Supreme Court on June 6th, which was one of the main reasons why I ran for re-election, on June 6th, they ruled in the Alabama case that the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act is good law, is constitution, and it ought to be enforced. Now what Section 2 says? Section 2 says that if you got a group, you got officers to fill, position to fill, and if you got a group that is compact enough, that both consistent the same enough, okay, that have the same interests, then you ought to create a district for that group, okay? So they didn't do that in the legislature during the special session last year. They're supposed to have created the federal judge say 6 or 7 more minority House seats and 3 to 4 more minority Senate seats. When we do that, if we comply with the federal order sometime this year, we may find ourselves running for state representative, House, and Senate all over again. Okay. Now, unless the judge say you can wait the next 4 years, but the suit saying that it's not fair to wait 4 years. You need to make them correct this now and have another election. Okay. So that's very important too. We also passed a bill requiring that and this is we have labor laws, and we passed a bill that allows minors working not to have lunch break. They can waive lunch break. Huh? Well, there's a guy on all the Smoothie Kings, okay? He owned them all over the country. He got them all over the country. And his name is Wilder, W-I-L-D-E-R. He's in the legislature. He's a House representative member. And he passed that bill. And nobody knew what it was. You see, look, we had over 1,000 bills filed. This one of the biggest jobs is to read these bills. This is just some bills that we've had already in the regular session, and some of those bills may be 15 pages long, maybe 2 pages long, maybe 1 page long. But you don't read that stuff all the time. You catch it, and that's what he did. He caught the House because it sounded like it was doing a favor for the people. Really, it's a problem. So we're gonna try to kill it on the Senate side and pass the House. Okay, now, so. What else? I got a lot of things. I'm going to let y'all ask questions because I can talk for 2 hours without stopping. I'll let y'all ask that question. And one more thing. I need to mention this. My bill, House Bill 692. What House Bill 692 did was this. It didn't get out of committee, failed by 2 votes. Because one of the city judges called and told some of my Republican colleagues to vote against it. It would have created, right now, city court is in violation of the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. We call it city court, but it's Ward 3 court, okay? And it's 112,000 people roughly, okay? It's 42% African American and about 55% white and about 5-6% other, okay? That's the makeup of Ward 3 court. But we got 2 judges, and they get elected Ward 3, the whole ward election. They run ward wide. They don't run in districts. My bill was going to break it down, split it in half, right straight down to half, equal number, and one would be a predominant minority district, one would be a predominant white district. Now, what has happened is a Republican, I like Hope, Judge White's daughter, she's Assistant DA, Hope. Her husband worked for me when I was a judge clerk for me. He works over there at the Bill Baggett law firm. And she was a good person, and she ran for city court. A Republican can't win because blacks tend to vote Democratic, and they make up 42% of the population, and the 2 judges there, they got it by Democratic black votes, okay? You break it down in half, everybody have a fair shot. So my bill would have broke it down into 2 districts, okay? And they both were running that district. And but last time I had it, last year before last, Ron Reshaw went down there and testified against it. When he told me that he was gonna support it, that's why I sent a letter out for him to when he ran for city court 4 or 5 years ago. And so now we're going to have another city court election in about 2 years, a little less than 2 years. Not this November, but not this October, next October. And so I just think that was wrong because he did not sign. He agreed to those who went down there and testify again. He didn't go down there this time, but he called some people. I lost by 2 votes. So this is very important. Now we also created a congressional district. They were in violation of Section 2. We have 6 congressmen. 33% of the population is black, okay, and but they only have 1 congressman that's black. That's Troy Carter in New Orleans. So the federal government court order said you got to create another congressional district. So what we did in the last special session, the first special session in January, we created another district. I think it's an illegal district. It runs from Caddo Parish to Baton Rouge. The reason why I think it's illegal, it complies with Section 2 because it creates another minority district. But the suit's been filed on it, and I told them the suit was going to be filed. But because you run from Arkansas border, Louisiana, in Mike Johnson district, all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. How many different communities of interest is that? Okay, the people in North Louisiana got 1 community of interest. The people of farmland in the middle part of the country, and we industrial out here. And how you going to have 1 congressional district? All those different. It violates communities of interest. And when you do that, it violates Section 14 Amendment. Equal Protection Clause of 14th Amendment. So I think it's an illegal district. Why I voted for it? I voted for it for this reason. United States Supreme Court said in a case that said that if it gets too close to election, within 4 or 5 months, then you have to go with the last expression of the legislature. So before that bill passed, the last expression of the legislature was 1 district, 1 black district, okay? And so, but now the last expression of the legislature, even though it might be an illegal district, it is two Democratic districts, 2 minority districts. So all I'm saying is that now, because it's getting close to qualifying, we're going to have to run in that illegal district, but it's a minority district. It complies with Section 2, but it may be in violation of the 14th Amendment. They done already filed suit in the Western District. Now, we got 3 federal districts in Louisiana. We got the Eastern District, Middle District, and Western District. The Middle District is more liberal. Why is it more liberal? Because Obama got more appointees on there. Trump got more appointees on the Western District. The Eastern District is kind of mixed up, okay? So the district that handle all these, under the law, we're supposed to file all suits for reapportionment in Baton Rouge, okay? Because that's the base of the state. That's the state center, okay? That's the state proper place to file a suit, okay? And so there's the Miller District. So Judge Dix gets the case, and she gets all the cases. She's been there. And so they don't like her making these rulings, but they're going to the Western District, hoping to get a more conservative court to get an injunction. Even to get an injunction, it's going to be appeal, go to the 5th Circuit and the 5th Circuit already ruled on this slash. You call it a slash from Caddo Parish to East Baton Rouge Parish. It goes down. It's designed to go down the Red River and then go to I-49 to St. Landing Parish. Take all the blacks out of Caddo Parish as much as you can. Then you go down to Alexander, take the blacks out of that parish, Rapides Parish. Then it goes down I-49 to St. Landing Parish, take the blacks out of St. Landing Parish, and then go across the Chapelizod to Helena and go to East Baton Rouge Parish. The base is in East Baton Rouge Parish. Okay, so I think it's unconstitutional because it conflicts too many communities of interest. Not just that district. District 3, where Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, is, he makes his district illegal. All right, now I got to mention one other thing. The Supreme Court. We passed the Supreme Court district 2 times. The 2 special sessions and a regular session. It's a Senate bill, Senator Field bill, and we done passed it out the Senate because we passed it out the House twice, but it sat on the floor. The governor had made it sit on the floor in the Senate. We done passed the Senate. Now we got it in the House. We probably vote on it either next week, probably next week. We vote that bill. We have 2 Supreme Court justices that are black. And let me tell you, Section 2 doesn't say you got to have a black person representing you. All it says is that you have a right to select a person of your choice. You know, so it may very well be a white person, might be an Asian person, might be a Latino person, but the people have a right to select somebody of their choice, okay? So it's not about saying you're going to definitely have 2 blacks. You may have a Latino, you may have a black and Latino, you may have a white, you know, depend on the person. For example, Robbie Carter, I'm the third ranking person in the House of Representatives, by the way, and so I get everything, and they got to tell me everything. I can't do things sometimes. I don't have the power to do things. Sometimes I'm able to do a few things, but the senior member of the House is a guy named Francis Thompson. He's been in the legislation in 1976. I found him there in 84. He stayed, he started term limits in the House for years. He started term limits, did 2 terms. They went to the Senate for 3 terms, and then he back in the House. Nice guy, softest guy in the northeastern part of the state, between Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana. He's a great guy. He's seen. Number 2 guy, a guy named Robbie Carter. Robbie Carter is from Tangible Hole, St. Helena area, and he's a lawyer. He probably owns about 6,000, 10,000 acres up there, about one of the richest persons in the parish. But he's a nice guy, and let's go to show you. You can be rich and be compassionate. He's a Democrat, in fact, okay? And his district is 56% black. The last reapportionment I did, when we did the reapportionment, he had a 62% black district. He still gets elected because everybody loves him. He's the type of guy that everybody likes. His daddy was the sheriff of the parish, of 2 parishes. His grandpa, his daddy was a judge over there, and he's been a lawyer. He got 2 kids that lawyers over there. Talking about a nice guy, okay? And he and I vote pretty much, probably 80% the same. So what I'm saying, it don't guarantee you a black representative because you got a black district. There may be a person that influences people enough and people think enough about regardless of his race, that he get elected, like Robbie Carter, who's the second ranking person in terms of years of service. He got 16 years of service. I'm the third because I'm in my 5th term. So I did 3 terms before I became judge. This is my 2nd term after becoming judge. So I'm sitting with 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 1, 17 years. I think Robert Carter got 18. So what I'm saying is, so I get to find out what's going on, but I may not be able to do nothing about it, okay? I tried my best. I killed a 9-judge bill. We ended up doing a 7-judge bill, and we got 7 Supreme Court justices, and that bill should come up next week, hopefully, or maybe week after. Now, the budget comes up next week. And so I found out the other day that they want to bring the budget next week, and I had some concerns about it. So as a result, we got some things that we wouldn't have gotten, but the fact that I knew about it. So you got any questions?
All right, yeah. Anybody have questions?
I have one.
Can you stand? Yes, we can hear you.
I'm still sitting, I'm short. What's your position on the public information?
To me.
That Landry's trying to pass.
What public information?
Public records.
Oh, the public record. Okay. Now listen. Well, we got a public records bill. I believe everything ought to be open to the public. Everything. Now he got a bill. We passed a bill that certain things they don't have to make public until some point in the future. But what sense of having it in the future if you can't do nothing about it when it's happening? Right. You know, and in order to stop somebody from doing something wrong, you got to know ahead of time. So it ought to all be public record. I vote against that, and I got a big problem with it. But what is this governor doing with this? What is he up to? He's sort of like a mini Trump. He's sort of like to me, he wants to be a Napoleon of Louisiana. You know, he and I got into it about this congressional district, and he told me, I said, look, governor is an illegal district. Okay, it violates the 14th Amendment. The 5th Circuit already ruled that it violated about 6-7 years ago, and that same judge still on the 5th Circuit. We under the 5th Circuit court, the federal court. He said, well, Representative, I'm sorry you don't like it, but I got the votes, I can pass it. That's his attitude. I got the votes, I can pass it. And so that's why we where we at.
I'm concerned about HB 777, the one that's supposed to prohibit public funds for transactions involving a library association. What is the problem that the state has with this bill allowing librarians who have been the largest library association?
Now you know what the problem is.
I do, but
it's all over the country now. Florida doing the same thing, Texas doing the same. They kind of control what we read and what our children expose. They want to tell us what's good for our children to read. Or what they call it woke. They say diversity. It's all about controlling diversity. Now they don't want, I tell them all the time, you stand up and you say the Pledge of Allegiance, okay? And we say, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. But we don't do that. Why we got a problem with diversity? What a person is gay. I had a bill because I had a constituent had a problem. She was married to another woman, and they got a child. And when she went and got it artificially inseminated, and when she found out her wife was already pregnant for some other guy, and so they got a divorce. And so the first child was born to the first spouse. They said the daddy was unknown. They were supposed to say the daddy is unknown. And when she had her baby, they want to put her spouse, who she divorced from, as the parent on their birth certificate. So that bill, my bill would have said the presumption in Louisiana has been for years, in Arkansas, Texas, a lot of states, the husband of the wife is presumed to be the father of the child.
But that's a white thing.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you. The husband of the wife is presumed to be the father of the child. So my bill said that presumption don't apply to same-sex marriages. Okay. While I was preparing the bill, I had a big gay group headed by Representative Mandy Landry from Orleans, who I like dearly. I admire the hell out of her. She's an outstanding representative. She's outspoken and articulate, intelligent, always have something good to add. She votes the same way I vote pretty much, but she's way, way left, okay? And so they actually put $100,000 against her, but she still won. So the man said, Representative, you know what you're doing? You know how this is going to affect same-sex marriages. I said, well, show me some. Have the lawyer call me. So the lawyer called me, sent me some cases. I read the cases. After I read the cases, the United States Supreme Court has said you have to give the same presumptions and the same advantage to same-sex marriages as you give to different-sex marriages. Okay, so I pulled my bill. Okay, because I thought it would hurt same-sex marriages. So you have the presumption. So right now, if you got two men adopt a child, or two women have a child, one of them have a child. So that spouse have the same rights as a father, a husband, because of that presumption. Okay, they got parenting rights. They got the same rights everybody else got. They go get the same insurance, same benefits, everything. Okay, and that's important. So my point to you is that they don't want diversity. They don't want you to learn about history. They want to reconstruct history. Okay, look, I have tried to trace my family back to Virginia. Okay, and I think I got it back to Virginia. Sold as slaves from Haiti. Okay, and the 6 brothers left Virginia after 1968, because 1867, because they had freed the slaves and everything, and the guy that owned the plantation, they tell me his name was Carter Travis from Britain, and he said, y'all got to get off my property. All you people, y'all not slaves no more. Y'all free people. Take anything you want. Take the horse, take the wagon. But if they find y'all here, they're gonna burn me out. So those young men, they didn't have a name, so they took Carter Travis' first name, Carter, and they moved west, and they stopped in Shreveport. And 2 of them, probably about 100 years ago, left Shreveport and went to Church Point. That's what my grandfather was from, Church Point. His daddy was Church Point. Okay, so what I'm saying is, our history is our history. Our history is important. There's nothing wrong. First of all, I got into it with Farmer. Farmer got a bill you need to know about too. Representative Farmer in Suffolk. He got a bill that says we got a law on the books. Said the Commissioner of Election, the Secretary of State, have to require the voter registration folks do a canvass. An annual canvass. So they send you a little card, and if you don't fill out the card and say you live at that address and stuff, but then they'll send it to you a couple of times, and then they try to encourage you to go vote. But Farm passed a bill that it's an anti-diversity, anti-voting bill that says that if they do a supplemental canvass, do an additional canvass, during the course of the year, they'll send you a little card and actually confirm you live at this location, you still vote at that precinct. If you don't send that card back, you get in the inactive list. Inactive list. That means if you don't vote, and if you don't vote in 2 federal elections, so that's 4 years, so we run Congress every 2 years, then you can't vote. Okay? Now you can vote anywhere. You can be living somewhere else and go vote to where you voted last time and let you vote. Another thing we passed, I got to tell you about this too, because it's important. Closed primaries. Closed primaries, what the governor wants to do in all elections. My election, I told you, in my district, I have 9.7% Republican, 24.6% Independents, no party, and 72% Democrat. That's in my district. So if you close primary, only Republicans can vote in Republican primary, only Democrat vote in Democratic primary. Now, no party can be permitted to vote if the party central committee want to let you vote, okay? But if you're no party, the only way you get in the primary, you got to have a primary election. It's going to be August for the regular election. And so you run the primary, and you're already running the jury election. If you're not a Republican or a Democrat, then you have to do a petition, circulate a petition. So you got to have 400 people, a minimum of 400 people up to 1,000 people, depending on what kind of election you're running for. If you're running for a statewide election, it's 1,000. So we amended the bill. We were able to amend the bill to say that it only apply next year to the Supreme Court, the Congress, and Public Service Commission. But they got a bill right now to make it apply to everybody. So in State Representative District 34, then you would have to have a Republican primary and a Democratic primary. And the no party people, 30 of my people won't, 24% of my people won't even be able to vote. And in order to run in the general election, you got to get a petition signed. You can't get a petition signed by any voter. You got to get a petition signed by people of the same party you are. If you're independent, you got to be independent. If you're no party, you got to be no party. That's horrible. But that's what the strategy is. So to take the vote away from the people. What has happened in recent time, our Republican friends have gone so far to the right until they don't want to change their policy to attract diversity, so they will keep you from voting. They can win by keeping you from voting. That's what Trump said he's going to do anyway, okay? So if Trump gets elected, he's going to have a same type system they have in Russia. That's why they didn't want to give no aid to Ukraine, because they want Russia to win. They want to have the same system Russia got. We've been fighting Russia for so many years, but now we want to be like Russia, okay? So it's just a front election, okay? So any question? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you stand for me? Yes. Regarding women's reproductive rights,
Yes.
I read that it was voted down in the committee.
Yeah.
Can it be gotten on the ballot through petitions or what?
Well, Louisiana has a law that's stranger than most states. I think you could still circulate a petition, but we changed the law on try to get a authorized petition, and that's one reason why he want to have this Constitutional Convention to decide how we change the Constitution. In most states, in Louisiana, you get a petition, but you got to have you can't get a petition, but nobody's really working on that. But that's one avenue. But what he's doing is that law would have protected women's rights, even though we have the abortion ban. Pretty much, you might as well say it's a abortion ban. We not only we losing doctors by the droves out of Louisiana and Texas and Florida. You have to go to get those gynecologists. They're not coming to Louisiana no more. We're getting a trickle of them, a few of them. We're not getting none now. And they're not getting none in Texas. And so women is more than just abortion. People keep thinking about abortion just about abortion. Abortion is about women's health, okay? And if you got a problem, a health problem, and you got to have abort that fetus, or you gonna die, or the fetus is gonna be defective and die, then you ought to be able to do that. And it ought to be your decision whether or not you take a chance with that fetus. But now the law says not only you can go to jail, but your doctor can go to jail. Okay, and so the doctors they're not having it. We're going to have a shortage. We already got a shortage. We're going to have a substantial shortage. And I've tried to tell this governor. I said, look, man, it's not. Governor Edwards, he and I hit heads all the time behind this abortion issue. I said, don't sign that abortion. Don't sign it. Governor, just don't sign it. He said, well, I'm against abortion, even though I'm a Democrat. I said, I don't care what party you are. You're not talking about just abortion. You're talking about women's health care. Women going to die. A lot of women going to die. And they are already beginning to see a rise of rates because they don't have the people, they don't have the doctors. You know, we got a shortage of doctors.
We lost more doctors than we replaced in this,
That's right.
this city right here.
That's right.
We lost 7 and we replaced 2.
That's why we got a committee appointed. We got a committee appointed right now. We have some donors trying to get a medical school at Southern University. If we get a medical school at Southern University, we can produce some doctors that we need. It's all about what they call the woke agenda. What is woke? And I ask them all the time, what is woke? And this is what I get from talking to these folks. Woke is anything that's not basic European American tradition.
It's a new confirmation environment.
Yeah. And And so what I'm saying is, the United States became great, and I keep telling us, I mean, y'all missing the boat. Y'all think this country is great just because of European ancestry. It's great because of European ancestry, because of Asian ancestry, because of African ancestry, because it's a melting pot. And it attracts people from all over the world to come and try to give it a chance over here. And we get bright ideas, and this will make this country great. And if we do anything different, we just like the average Eastern European country, we're not going to be replenishing our resources and our ideals, okay? So we ought to do just like the pledge says, okay? We the people, okay? For a more perfect union. We do our pledge every day. We just got to stick to that. We indivisible. We all one. We all one. We may be different colors, from different backgrounds, from different countries, but we Americans. Okay? And everybody ought to have the same right as Americans. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you just got here from Mexico. One reason why our economy is so great is because we do have people coming from other countries to get here. Them people coming across the border to Mexico, they keep talking about how horrible this is. This is on the natural thing. We got people that don't want to pick cabbage. That you go try to find somebody to work at your house and see who you gonna find to take care of your old people. You know, we need people willing to come here and do those jobs nobody else taking, the slaughter house and stuff like that. So we need people from other countries coming here.
It's my impression that we need to unpack our verbiage, though. We need to unpack our definitions. Because I feel like there's a lot of fear, like that these people you're talking about. They think you want them to become transgender. Or you want them to become believing in abortion. And what Democrats and independents need to say is, you have every right to your beliefs.
That's right. Right.
And do you really care if the man wears a skirt, if he's paying taxes?
That's right.
I mean, in other words, like, we could.
But do they really believe that? Do they really believe you want them to be?
Yeah, I think
that's
No, this is the fear.
I absolutely do, talking to these fearful white people.
Yeah.
And they
I'm
their eyes are big, and it's like, you don't want me to believe, and like pro-choice is really slang for pro-abortion.
Right.
It isn't.
That's right.
And but we don't understand it. We understand we need to get away from the
Right.
and say, we believe you can believe what you need to believe, what your church believes, what your family believes, what your friends believe. We just want another person to have a choice.
Right.
Like you're trying to tell Edwards, exactly.
Right.
And so I feel we have a responsibility to get away from trigger words. And unpack them.
You read Speaker of the House Mike Johnson writings. He's a very intelligent guy. He's very charismatic, charisma. He's a good-looking guy.
No, he's not.
Well, I think he's good-looking. Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. He's a nice-looking guy. He's smart. He's a good lawyer. And know what he believes? He believes that the history of the United States ought to be literally interpreted from the Constitution, from the Bible. From the Bible. He said, no, the history of America ought to be grounded and rooted and completely controlled by the history of the Bible, which don't make no sense. A man been around here 300,000 years, the Bible. But that's what he believes, because he fears of changing that. He fears of change. He don't want to be indivisible. He wants people like him, think like him, be in control all the time. And by the way, when I passed the Gene Thibodeau Court of Appeal District, knew I had to cut a deal with. I needed 7 votes. I had 6. They knew I had to cut a deal with, and I was able to do it. But David Duke, the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan at the time. So I work with everybody, and you got to be able to do that. And that's what make this country great. You go cut a deal with anybody, cut a deal with. Go on.
So I'm getting used to going to Walmart, having a guy standing next to me with the gun on his hip.
Okay.
The lady behind me has a gun in her purse.
Yeah.
And then the guy who walks in a sports coat obviously has his gun under here. So I'm in there in the store. Now, when somebody walks in with the shotgun, do they have any obligations, responsibilities? We've bent over backwards for their Second Amendment rights. But now that they're out there protected, are they responsible for anything?
We already was a constitutional carry. Okay, we passed a bill during a crime session that allows for constitutional concealed carry. Now it said it it's not clear whether that means AR-15, but we assume it does, okay? And can a person carry AR-15 at the voter? Right now, the law is that if you go to register the vote, you get in the line to register the vote. If we pass a bill that says the registrar and commissioner in charge can, if they find that it interrupts voting, they can tell a person to get off the property, where they got an AR, and as the law says, you can't carry a weapon into the voting place, but you can carry it in the line. You can have an AR-15 standing in the line. There's nothing to prohibit that. So the commission can say, look, you intimidate my voter with that AR-15, you have to get out the line, call the police, have to arrest it. But it's up to the commissioner. And I'm against that. The commissioner will not have the power to decide who can have a gun, who can't have a gun. She can pick and choose who she wants to have their gun in that line. You cannot, they have a law that says you cannot, say you got people standing in the line waiting to vote, and they thirsty or they hungry. You can't go get them water. They pass a bill, you can't interfere, you can't touch them at all. You can't have a sign, I'm good for that, but you cannot have like you want to invite someone. You can't give them water, you can't give them food, because they want to discourage you from voting. You get tired standing in the line, leave, okay? And you can have a gun in the line, but you cannot bring the gun in the voting booth, okay? Now, to
How
answer,
close can you get to it?
they say you can't go on the vote. I mean, once you get on the parish property to go vote, you can't.
It's supposed to be out.
It's up to the commissioner. You can't go inside with the gun. That's clear. Now let's go back.
There's nothing in the law that whether someone who's carrying in a public place, someone else interferes, and
No.
they're under no obligation.
No obligation.
No responsibility.
No.
They can just stand
Not
there.
only that. There's a bill we passed that says that you can, now I voted for the concealed carry. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you why I voted for concealed carry. Number one, but if you get a permit for your concealed carry, we passed a bill that says you can have immunity from suits against the person you shoot. So in other words, if you got a gun and I got a gun, and I end up, you shoot me and kill me because you pull your gun too fast and you pulled the trigger, you didn't want to pull the trigger and you kill me, my people can't sue you because you have immunity if you get a permit. If you don't have a permit, you can be sued. This is how crazy this is. Now the concealed carry, everybody wants a gun, got a gun. You better assume anybody you get into it with got a gun or close to a gun. So if you want to, do you have to pay the sheriff and the state a shakedown to carry your gun? Because I'm going to tell you right now, these 17-year-olds and 14, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds that killing people, they ain't got no permit. The people that killing people with crime, committing armed robbery, they don't have no permit. They just get the gun, point at you, and shoot you. They ain't got no training.
Ma'am, you have a question.
Go on, what's the question?
I just have one question. The closed election. I mean,
Yeah.
I went to vote that last time and.
Yes, ma'am. I got a lot of calls on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was.
Okay, that was a presidential primary.
How did that come about?
That's a presidential primary. Okay. Now, what happened? People registered to vote. They got to identify the Republican, Democrat, no party, or independent. If you went vote in a presidential election and you were independent or you no party, you couldn't vote. Cause that's. I mean, the people didn't know about it because they didn't know what party. They assumed they were registered Democrat and they couldn't go vote. A lot of people called me. I got about 15 calls about people couldn't vote because they wasn't a Republican or a Democrat.
Who made that decision to change it like that? Was it the governor?
Well, the governor has changed it more than that, but it hasn't taken effect yet because it has to. I think it comes up. I think it's gonna come up in 2025. But yes, the law has been changed to where you have to be a primary. You can still vote in other elections. You just can't vote in the presidential primary has been like that. It used to be we have right now you can go vote. You can be in the party and vote for either one of the parties. I mean, we got two-party system in the United States, Republican and Democrat, okay? So now you could have gone to the polls and voted for Trump as a Democrat. Okay, you went in a voting machine, you see the machine there, they have all the candidates in the Democratic Party, all the candidates in the Republican Party. You can vote either one, but you gotta be a Republican or a Democrat. If you got to the lady with the list, if your name was not R or a D by your name, you can't vote.
Right.
And I think that's wrong. I think anybody will be able to vote in the election, but that's a national thing, okay? And we don't have closed party primary yet. We're gonna have it next year. So next year, just like what happened to you, what you're saying that happened in the last president's primary, it's gonna happen in every election. And so if you're a Democrat, if you're not a Democrat or Republican, you won't be able to vote in the primary. It's just a primary election.
May I suggest
Go change your party. Yeah, you go change. I suggest these people that's registered. Let me tell you, most of our veterans are independents or no party. They say 90% of them. 90% of them are no party, or independent. So it's a lot of our military people being denied the vote. You know, because they don't want to be a Republican or Democrat. They want to be independent or no party. So they can't vote.
Does anybody have that has a question that hasn't been answered? Hold on, Paul. Anybody that has not asked a question have a question they want to answer? Ask.
Just quick, could you go over the bills that the anti-teacher legislation that's in front of the Senate and the...
Yeah. Okay, now one bill that's very important to teachers. Well, we had several bills. Let me tell you the one we passed that's very earth-shaking to me. Right now, you send your kid to a non-public school. First of all, school money is divided based on the MFP. Okay, the MFP allots so much money per student. Okay, the federal government come up, give so much money, the state generates so much money. We passed a bill that says if you're non-public in school, then you will get $5,100 a year for your child in school. That you would be part the minimum the MFP. The best they got to give you $5,100 allotted to you. But now you choose to send your kids to a private school, okay? And already keep in mind, people that send their kids to private school has a $6,000 tax credit. Okay, so you send your kid to private school, you get $6,000 off your tax credit. Now, in addition to the $6,000, you can get $5,100. What that does, that sounds like it's a good thing that they say the money ought to follow the student. But you choose to not send your kid to public school. You choose to send your kid to private school. For whatever reason you did that, you know, the government shouldn't be paying the $5,100 a month and giving you a tax credit on top of it. Okay, so I mean, you're collecting like $12,000 almost to send your kids to private school, so they discourage the public school. And so I put an amendment on the bill, and I argued that amendment, and I came a few votes short. But the amendment says that if you're below 150% of the poverty line, poverty line is around 23, 24, 25,000, something like that, and 150, so you're making like you got a household income of about $50,000, $45,000, $50,000. Well, you would get a preference to go to those go to that private school to get that $5,100. Okay, but they kill that. So the people that gonna get it, the people that send their kid to private school right now, they gonna get the money, and that's what they're gonna do is gonna make us not have money to match the federal fund.
Who's going to send their kid to a private school?
Yeah.
The rich man.
Yeah, that's right.
He gets a $6,000.
Well, people. Yeah. But that's what Landry. That's the governor. That's your governor, Landry. Know why Landry governor right now today? You know why? Let's be honest about it. Around 25% of the people voted less than 25% of the black population voted. Okay. Overall, I think we had 30% turnout. He got a minority of people. He got one in the first primary. So we stuck with him. And he's trying to change the Constitution so he can stay there longer. One thing in the Constitution, you want to move it from 2 terms to 2.5 terms, 10 years. So it's a whole lot going on. But we need to fight back. We need to push back. We push back. Now, it's another thing about teachers. All right, you know we passed the supplemental pay for teacher, and at the last minute, last session, and they give teachers a little money, more money. Our teachers are underpaid. We really need it. Our biggest problem in Louisiana right now, believe it or not, is education. That's the quickest way out of poverty, and we're not doing anything to be competitive to get our kids. So one thing, I had a bill, they killed a bill, but the bill would say is in your last 2 years at high school, you have to have some type of on-the-job training skills. In other words, in your last 2 years, you go with Sowella. Sowella got electrician, carpenter, bricklayer, and all these trades. You got to take at least a class with Sowella in high school to go take, and the government would pay for it. Go take the class with Sowella. So if you don't go to college, you can still be an electrician. You can be a carpenter. You can be an instrument man. You can be a lot of things and make a lot of money. Not everybody going to college, but in Louisiana, we're not doing that. So we used to have shop a long time ago. It helped a lot of people. We don't even have shop no more. We got a few things. So another thing they got a bill that combine the teacher's retirement with the police retirement. Combine the teacher's retirement with the police retirement. I'm gonna tell you something. The most financial stable retirement system we have is teacher's retirement. We're doing good. We got to the point where teachers now, we have a bill where teachers can go and work after they retire because we got such a need for teachers. Police retirement. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for policemen because we need policemen to have a civilized society. But policemen ought to be accountable, okay? You ought to be accountable for your conduct. And what they do, they work 20 years and they retire. They're almost full retirement, 75% of their check. 20 years, and they go get another job. Okay? That put the retirement system in bad shape. What they want to do is combine it with the teacher's retirement. And what that's going to do, that's going to bring the teacher's retirement be unsecured. Okay? So we had an unfunded liability of $1.5 billion last year. We put $600 million in it. Now I was kind of hesitant about the $600 million because I thought it ought to be more like $300 million, $400 million. We got to make some progress on unfunded liability. But you look at the unfunded liability of each retirement system, and the worst is the police retirement. Okay? Now, the state retirement got problems, but the teacher's retirement is the best retirement system we got right now. So that bill will combine it together, and that's a big mistake, and it will put teachers' retirement at risk. Okay? And
when is that bill coming up?
I don't know the bill number. I think it's coming. It's going to start on the Senate. It's Senate bill. It's a start on the Senate.
So
It's coming to the House.
Try to stop these?
Call these people. Your senator.
Call me.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Yeah. Mr. Gaines.
You know me.
Mr. Baines, been active. It's one of his jobs to take care of teachers, the unionized teachers that have what y'all call it, the union.
The LAE.
So you need to contact him because he's gonna be following those, tracking those bills. But that's as a hard. It's a Senate bill, so we're not gonna hear it till about 2 or 3 weeks now on the House side. But we're gonna try to kill it on the House side. And we did pass a bill giving more teachers more opportunity to work after retirement because we got such a shortage of teachers.
Okay. The other bill. This is union buses.
Yeah.
You need to
Oh yeah. Take right now. You can take your so much your check and assign it to the union. Okay, to the teachers union. Okay, they got a bill. We done passed it out the House.
Senate Bill 331.
Okay, that bill says that you can't do that no more.
You can't take your union.
So you want your
reduction.
union dues? Yeah, you want your union dues to go to your union. Okay, but they say you can't do that. So they take it out the check automatically. They're going to stop you from doing that. What's going to happen? They're going to bust the union. What's going to happen when you bust the union? Everything going to go bad. Worse than it is. Let me tell you, they done a study. We all know the middle income and upper income people have gotten where they are because of union, organized labor. They killed organized labor years ago. And all our apprenticeship programs, that's all through labor. And so that's why I fought so hard for this overpass. I did the 210 bridge. Look, they signed the very same contract it was signed. Landry, but he want to get his people in place. Now, what this thing? We're gonna get a state of the art bridge. It's gonna be an 8-lane bridge. It's gonna be 70 feet high. This bridge we got right now is 147 feet high. That bridge should have cost no more than $1.5 billion. When I got elected in 2020, that bridge was estimated to cost $1,300,000,000. After 2 years being in office, that bridge was $1,500,000,000. Okay, so they put it out for bid. It called what you call a P3 contract. And a lot of people don't know about this, but I do because I studied this stuff. P3 means that if something happens where you don't have supplies and your costs go way up, or you have a virus and the costs go way up, and you stuck with that, you got to still build a bridge, okay? That's a P3 contract. The only 2 companies were able to build. The company that got the bid, a company called Plannery out of Italy. It's not an American company. It's an Italian company. And that company is bid on $2.1 billion for that bridge, okay? But they also, Landry, and everyone's going to do the same thing, Landry that got his people in charge, have a toll. Now, if you live in Calcasieu Parish, you're going to pay 25 cents or less, okay? But if you don't live in Calcasieu Parish, you're going to pay up to $3 a car across that bridge. Now, it's projected that it's going to cost them $2 about a billion or 600,000 build a bridge. They're gonna make a $500-600 million profit just on building the bridge. Then they got to maintain the bridge. It's estimated over a 50-year period. That's gonna cost about $2 billion. Then when they turn the bridge over 50 years from now back to the state, then it's gonna cost probably about $1 billion to upgrade the bridge. Okay, so that's about $5 billion, right? You know how much they're gonna collect on this upon this toll? $50 billion. $50 billion. Now, sit. Okay, Plenary gonna run the toll. They're gonna be over the toll. They're gonna collect the money. And look, we had a proposal. Senator Abraham had a bill in the Senate last session, to make that a public toll. And they got people together here to make a public toll. We could have used that money for our education system, to help do something about the cancer rates we have, our health care. Now we got $40-something billion gonna go to a company in Italy. Okay, so that bridge, if they project, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I done tried it myself. I went to Houston. I said, well, I'm gonna go through the toll road. If in Houston, the toll road got a non-toll road right on the side of it. We don't have a non-toll road right on the side of it. I think it's in violation of a Supreme Court case out of New Jersey, the United States Supreme Court case, and so that may be considered a challenge. But anyway, our nearest free road is going to 210. Now you think people gonna get on 210 to avoid that bridge? They're not. I done tried it, because I tried it in Houston. I go on the side road, the free road. I got to stop at every light. I got to stop at the train. That's all hell, man. Give the people $2 and let's get on. Let's go on the toll road. And that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get on that toll road, because it's gonna be 8-lane road, 4 lane both ways. It's gonna be 1 lane for local people, 1 lane for trucks. You know, so you gonna get on that road. It's a state of the art. It's gonna be $2 billion investment in our infrastructure in the North Lake Charles area. So I'm for it, but we should have made it a public toll, and we could have gotten all them billions of dollars to take care of our people and our roads and stuff for 50, 75 years into the future. So that's a big. That's what they did. The governor signed the same thing the other governor signed. Same deal. Somebody from Italy gonna get filthy rich.
We're gonna cut off questions now, because this was a very good discussion. We're gonna have to come back, because y'all be here for hours, because he can talk. On that note, we're gonna close it out. We're gonna ask Representative Carter to come back again.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask you guys to tell your friends, because this is too important for us to just leave it here. We're going to have to come up with an agenda, how we're going to approach it from here. You all have a lot of information given to you by Representative
And let me say this before we just close. There's a lot of talk about mayor's races. I have not ruled out mayor race. I cannot do it now because I'm in a session. But don't keep your powder dry. Don't shoot your gun too fast.
Don't do it. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion that's giving me hard.
I'm just saying.
Huh? It all is important, but go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to know what's the best way we can make our voices heard to respond.
The best way is to go have somebody or get somebody to go down to the session, and you can fill out a little form and pass it to the legislature and tell them you want them to vote against this bill. Or everybody can't go to Baton Rouge, but if you can get somebody to take turns to going down there and pass. Now, I know the teachers when they had
We got a labor lobby on
on
Thursday next week.
Yeah, so they're gonna be sending it out. But every citizen, call your representative, call your senator. A lot of these people, they know what the people think. They already know. They're just doing it against the people. They don't care. But you can call and put pressure on
regulation. Our sorority is going down May 14th to address a lot of these issues in person. However, please call your representative. Write in. Those are the things we can do in the interim. And we are going to have to meet again. And Representative Carter will again invite the other representatives to be here. We ask that you guys call your representative and tell them you want them to come and address and give us both sides of the issue. We are nonpartisan in this organization, and that's what we're trying to get all the information so we can address and react accordingly. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you.